Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a little special secondary episode of the Rebooked podcast. I am one of your hosts. Yes, no, Golden Boy is unfortunately passed. We left him in another country. Oh, go there he is. No,
I'm here. I'm okay, guys. I'm here. Oh man, I made it. Oh boy, my arm's tired.
That's right. From España. No, we are here. Secondary show. So the secondary host is enjoying the show. So, but yeah, we wanted to do another extra kind of show, secondary episode where this is where we can do different fantasy bookings or do tier lists or kind of do things a little bit more outside the realm
stuff
of normal weekly discussion, you know what I mean? And maybe even take some fan questions or suggestions for bonus topics as well. I think that could be a fun thing that we do. But today, on this special extra episode of Rebooked, we are going to bring in something. It is WrestleMania season, gents. We've been talking about it a lot. Cody Rhodes, The Rock, all that stuff. But there's a fondness for this build-up every single year, right? Yeah. We have, and many of us have fond memories of different stories, characters, rivalries heading into WrestleMania each and every year. So this episode, we're just going to take a brief little time here to talk. Each of us have one of our favorite WrestleMania stories, WrestleMania rivalries. We remember the video packages, the promos, the matches that we're going to talk about heading into WrestleMania that year, and then just kind of break it down a little bit, just to walk down memory lane, so to speak. So, really quick, super rapid fire though, before we get into the actual discussion. Off the top of your head, favorite WrestleMania number? Just if you had to pick one.
X7.
GB, go.
X7
classic.
X7. I don't know why. I just liked the name convention for that too. You could have just called it 17, but just it being X7 for some reason just added so much to it. But then they overdid it. Then they did like X8, X9.
Everything
okay,
X, right?
Relax. There's no more X's here, okay? But yeah, I love that one.
Jake, what about you?
Oh man,
I said go off the top of your head. Don't think this is
WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania 30.
Damn it! You took mine.
Wait, hold on. I gotta remember.
That was the Daniel Bryan one.
Oh, that's right. That was WrestleMania 30.
In New Orleans. Yeah.
We may talk about that more. So, like, all right, I'm going to. Frick. You literally, you took it from me, you lousy bastard. That was the first. That was the first WrestleMania I ever attended.
Really?
I was there as a part of NXT. Because we had done access and everything like that. And so it was my first one. I was ever there. I watched it from the floor and stuff like that. So and I just thought it was a really good show overall. I will follow up. Then I'll say the next time WWE was in New Orleans for WrestleMania 34, which is where I performed on the show. So selfishly, I will take that one. Although there are so many to choose from.
There really are, man.
Dude, 40. We're on 40 now.
Yeah.
XL.
I love
not
it,
X9,
dude.
not X10. It's XL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so good, man. I will say though, I feel like with how they've been changing the WrestleMania naming, because you remember there was like a point in time where they just weren't saying the numbers anymore. And I'm curious, like, what was the reasoning behind that? I guess maybe it's like they didn't want to seem like they were like old or whatever. But I don't know. I love the numbers. I feel
when was it? When were they not saying the numbers? I'm trying to think. I remember what you were talking about.
It was after 30. I'm pretty sure, because they were doing the because then after that it was like just the WrestleMania logo, but with like the location of where they're going. And then that was like the branding for it. And I just thought it was like,
because they did the one, the one in Tampa where it was like the Tampa Bay Bucks themed logo and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like the pirate ship in the background and stuff like that. Yeah,
which would have been like,
I mean, I don't.
20, that was 36, I think, right?
Yeah, which I was going to say, which would have been like 2019 to 2021, kind of. Or I think.
Yeah,
I'm looking right now at the different logos. And it's not. Yeah, I would definitely say that it's not the most like because they stopped. So they did. Oh well, WrestleMania 2000 was another good one Damn, that was another good one, though. I just saw that, especially with the green text and the logo.
Yeah.
Real Jennifer Lopez vibes to that, waiting for tonight,
That is always the one. I will say that is always the one. I never say WrestleMania 16 because it's what it is, but I say WrestleMania 2000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember, I go, "Oh, at WrestleMania 2000, the Fatal 4-Way for the WWF title or whatever." I never say I rarely do I ever say 16.
Yeah, I don't think that
Is
they
it?
call
That's
it
Oh,
true.
that.
No, everywhere in
Yeah, it was
marketing and
WrestleMania
everything,
2000.
it's Mania 2000. Yeah, everything.
That was also
2000 that
an
year, though.
N64 game, wasn't it? Wasn't WrestleMania 2000?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
a good one
The
too.
precursor to No Mercy.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could share my screen real fast. Hold on, because I think this will be really funny. Oh no, I can't. Okay, because this would have been. Yeah, I can't.
You
Here
can
we
send
go.
me the link and I can. Okay.
No, I got it right here. I'm gonna show it to you guys. So I'm looking at the different WrestleMania logos over the course of the year, but I
WrestleMania
might need to
2000.
change it up a little bit. So here's the thing: you can see here WrestleMania 2000. You can see the last one they did with the numbers was WrestleMania. What is
28?
that? 28.
No.
Yeah.
Well, 30. They did it for 30.
Well, then
after
30.
that.
They did it
It
for
was
30.
Triple
But you
X,
kind of had to for. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an easy one.
But
to
you're right.
sell.
Yeah, after that, they dropped the numerals.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to keep that going.
Yeah, because they
past
did
this.
WrestleMania
You know,
Hollywood
especially with
last year. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this. What
get into it.
matches? Let's see what matches we like here because I'm curious. None of us know, by the way. I think I'm the only one who shared his because I just wanted to make sure that there was no overlap. But yeah.
Well, then
Who
let's
wants to go
start with
first?
you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Stories. The stories that got you into that WrestleMania. What sticks out to you, GB?
Okay, so for me, it is WrestleMania 30. It is the Daniel Bryan story. It is
Classic.
still by. So what a lot of people may not know, I know I mentioned this in a previous one, but my best friend Rob, he introduced me to CM Punk and then Daniel Bryan and all these guys because I didn't really know much about them. I had kind of fallen off of wrestling at the time, and he was telling me yo man, you should get back into it. I think it's really good right now. And yeah, it was when Punk won, when Bryan won, when Ryder was US champion. Yeah, it was really cool, right? To see these guys who weren't typically WWE guys get these opportunities. But then the story just builds up from there. Daniel Bryan goes from Team Hell No, has one of the most fun tag team runs we've seen in a while up until that point with Kane, and then starts the journey for the WWE Championship. But in his way was Randy Orton, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon probably, I don't remember if he was there or not, Triple H, and a returning Batista, which will always shatter my brain because Batista is the one who tapped out. He's the one who lost, he lost it. So I never would have thought that would have happened. Here comes Daniel Bryan. This guy is small dude. No one's giving him the time of day, and he is just from the yes chants on the ring side to to the promos and just beating him up each and every week. And I'll tell you, I genuinely believed in my mind that he was not walking out as champion because he just wasn't Vince's guy. He just wasn't Vince's guy. And even though that was the story, I just felt no, it was going to be Batista or Orton rather. But Daniel Bryan goes into that match or goes into that Mania. He has to wrestle Triple H in the first match. Right, I think it was the first or the second.
Yep, the opener.
Wins it. Yeah, wins it. And that was another just. It doesn't get talked about that much, but that was a great match.
That match is awesome.
Yeah, well, because you always see the moment, right, of him lifting the belts and cheering and stuff.
Of course.
But that match, man, oh, dude, the whole time I was just edge of my seat, there's just no way he's gonna win this. There's no way Triple H is gonna do this. We're gonna get an Evolution triple threat. This is what's gonna happen. And they done did it. The bearded bastard went out there, won the match against Triple H in dramatic fashion, and then pulled off another just god tier match. Because again, Randy Orton and Batista need to be given all the credit in the world. That was just such a great freaking match. And then the chanting afterwards, the camera shots that they got, the confetti. It felt like at that point WWE had turned a corner. of them. Because it was like, they were kind of like in a weird spot, I think. Their manias up until that point weren't really like, the 60, 70,000 arenas that we were seeing them fill out now. They were doing like more 30, 40K, bigger venues. And then, in comes this like really wild story, and they went with it. And I can't believe they went with it, genuinely, because it just did not make sense. Like, it was like Vince McMahon had to have had his arm pulled in millions of directions in order for that to happen. But yeah, and that solidified it. That brought me back into professional wrestling, and I have not left since. So,
also one thing to think about too, like you talk about the years before, they were. I mean, to be fair, they were actually in football stadiums in the years prior.
Were they?
But yeah, like 28, 27, 28, 29.
I don't know why I'm remembering the Shawn Michaels matches in like small venues. Like, I don't know why I have it in my head.
Glendale was 26, and then 27 was Atlanta in the Atlanta Superdome, whatever, the Georgia Dome. 28 was Miami in Miami football, the Dolphins, I think, or is it the college? I don't know. Dolphin and then Stadium. 29 was MetLife, and 29 was MetLife. So they were, but what it took it from me, especially what made it stick out, was think about it this way too. Shut up, dog.
Can't believe you talk to your wife.
She will come. If you're watching the video version, you might probably see the dog come in at some point. They can open doors now. But think about my 28 and 29 was Cena Rock.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So
twice in a lifetime.
Twice in a lifetime. So the fact that like after that, like they're arguably their two biggest stars ever were the one at the headlining the show, and then now becoming like Daniel Bryan, as popular as he is, very much not one of those guys, right? So you're like, oh, there's no way this kid's gonna main event Mania. It made it more believable. It made the underdog thing, I think, even better when it happened.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Batista's trunks. I did enjoy the multicolored trunks that he was coming out with. It felt like he just wanted to have fun with it, and then people were making fun of him. So Batista, I support you in your powder blue trunks,
dude. Right, Blutista.
Blutista was great.
I love
man.
Blutista.
Blutista was wonderful.
Shout out real quick to that opening match with Triple H. I was in NXT at the time. Mm-hmm. And we used that match, and Terry Taylor was one of our trainers, and he would point out to us, credit to him, he made a very, very good point. Because we were young people trying to do everything in the world when we wrestled.
Couple young lions looking to prove.
All of us.
Yeah.
But his point was, watch this match. Because he was like, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, the most heated rivalry in WWE. The corporate overlords been beating the crap out of him, screwing him over. It is incredibly personal. And he goes, how did that match start?
Oh shit, I don't remember.
Headlock.
That's
side headlock.
Right.
Shoot him off, drop down, like hip. He's like the most
wrestling 101
rivalry in WWE starts with a head. Like, because we were always trying to like push him, like, oh, we want to do a hot start. We want to come in, swing and hit this boom, false finish right off. We were trying to like change. He's like, and he was trying to pull us back. And to his credit, like, it's not every situation, but he's right. He's like, you don't always have to go to even when it's the most personal thing in the world. And it also played into their story. Again, we like talking about story. The idea of that, again, he's been emotionally torturing him for months.
Yeah.
But Triple H goes out there and is like, I'm a better wrestler than you. He could have made it an ODQ match and beat him over the head with chairs and everything, but no, I'm going to tackle, drop down, get it again. Hip leapfrog, drop down, hip toss, better than you stupid little indie darling. Like, I think it added to the story that they started off just wrestling, tackle, drop down, all that kind of stuff, wrist locks, headlocks. Like, I love that they did that as opposed to, they could have easily gone street fight from the get-go. But they went back to wrestling 101.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was very cool, very important for the story.
Yeah, that's a great point because I think what's interesting as well for myself is like who was a returning fan at that time. It's like I guess I was so invested in like the story and what they were telling that weirdly enough the match is like
it's secondary.
Yeah, it's almost secondary. I just remember the moments and the way it made me feel. And I do want to note, there is another match I just wanted to say, but it's only because I was there and I experienced it, and I cried. Kofi, when Kofi won the championship, because I was there. And
stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Oh God. Why?
Because that's mine.
Oh, baby, let's go. I love it.
Great segue. I love it when a plan comes together.
Go for it, Jake.
Well, ironically, that plan came together because another one did not. Now, I've said before on this show, I think it was on our very first show, sometimes I think the best things in wrestling are accidental, and and happen because of pivots. And I think that one, might be better than Daniel Bryan's. And maybe it's
Which
also
is funny because it was him too.
Well, but that's I think why. I mean, I think maybe for a little bit that's why, because the fact that it was Daniel Bryan as the champion, as a heel champion, who was at the time just doing the Planet Champion. I loved that.
Yes.
That version of the belt. I loved that version of the belt.
The hemp
belt,
title
dude,
was
Roll it
awesome.
up.
It was fantastic. He's doing some of his best stuff. I remember him going out into the concourse and like slapping hot dogs out of people's hands and throwing their soda on them and whatever. He was great. He was just this smarmy, like he was almost like a hipster MJF. He was better than you, because of and he was doing some killer work.
Yeah.
And then we go into Elimination Chamber. Last second, Kofi Kingston is added to the match because Ali was hurt. And Kofi goes in there, as he always would, and just puts on a show and does so well that people started cheering for him in Elimination Chamber, right? It felt like one of those, like, oh man, I think he can do it.
He can do it.
I think he could do it. And that's what was so great. Yeah. And also, it reminds me of another time, another Elimination Chamber, and Daniel Bryan was involved in this one, was the one where, oh shit, now I've blanked on his name, but he was in Elimination Chamber. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, what did he look like?
He had the Cobra. What was? Oh, why am I blanking on his name?
Santino.
The Elimination Chamber where Santino was the last person eliminated, and it was like, is he about to win the freaking title off of Daniel Bryan?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
is one of my favorite matches because for that reason of like, wait a minute, I think, is he going to pull this off? I thought that was Santino. Apologies to Santino.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah, tell him. And apologize profusely. I feel great shame. I literally had his name, and then I was going to say it. I was like, nope, it's gone. Just the RAM cleared, and it's gone. But then he comes on. It was gone. But then Kofi goes out and has that gauntlet match on SmackDown. And
yes, I remember that.
I mean, it was exactly what you were talking about on the prior episode of what you had wished they had done with Gable. Kofi came out of that just smelling like roses. And it only happened because people praised how well he did in Elimination Chamber. And it got people saying, wait a minute, give Kofi his chance. Give him his opportunity.
Yeah.
And what does that become? It just becomes all these obstacles being put in the way. It was like a plussed up version of Daniel Bryan's story. Because then you get to that moment where he's like, all right, well, you won that gauntlet match. So now I think he had to be in a he was like, I'll give you a championship opportunity.
Yeah, because he kept adding matches.
But wasn't it against the bar?
I was there then, yeah.
Wasn't it against the bar, a handicap match?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah. But the to me, the most beautiful piece of storytelling was when they said, okay, you can get in if Woods and Big E can win their own gauntlet match.
Yeah. Oh, put
Yeah.
it on your. Yes, that was. I
And
forgot
they-
about that.
Good.
they
I
are
forgot
just-
about that.
They
Oh,
are just,
shit.
they are, doing everything they can to win. And then here comes their biggest rivals. Uso! And then that music hits and everybody's like, oh,
So good.
shit. Oh, shit.
And that was Uso Penitentiary, right?
That was
that
Uso
era,
Penitentiary.
right? If I'm correct.
And then they come in the ring and they say, we forfeit. Oh, I mean,
Oh, yes. The feel. Yep.
it
was good.
Oh my God,
Dude,
It
I
was
was there
good.
for all of that. I was at SmackDown for all of that
I-
at the time.
I
It
was-
I'm curious
so
why
good.
they went that route. Why they from a story perspective, like when they're writing it, like I guess it just shows like them also reinforcing the fan perception. that,
yes,
like,
I think it was.
Kofi needed to be there.
Yes, Kofi needed to be there. He wanted
As
to
far
show
as what? The Usos.
the Usos
Yeah,
stepping
yeah,
out,
yeah.
stepping in.
Yeah.
It was a respect thing. It was
Absolutely
just
a
that,
respect
like,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like-
reflecting all that energy.
And
But I guess
because
what I'm
they
saying
were-
is from yeah, go for it, Jake. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying because they were such big rivals at the time. I mean, they were for the longest time. The tag scene was just them two putting on
Dude, yeah.
clinics. I mean, absolute clinic. I think one of my favorite Hell in a Cell matches to this day was the tag match that they did in there. It was so good, and everybody was like, "Well, how are they going to do a tag match in a Hell in a Cell?" No, it had not been done, and it was so good. And to have their biggest rival come out and say, "We can't do this," and to lay down
Yeah.
and to give them the win so that they could continue on, so Kofi can have his opportunity, was just. I mean, it just puts Kofi over even more, right? It's if
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah,
buy
yeah.
into
'Cause his
him
peers.
then, yes,
Yeah.
because his peers and his biggest rival respect the hell out of Kofi Kingston. It was so good. And then he goes in to what was the last single night of WrestleMania for good reason, because that show had some great matches. And I'm
I
so
want to find
glad.
that card. What was that number again?
35. WrestleMania 35.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
because that was the one, the triple threat with Becky and Ronda and Charlotte was the main event. But everybody was so exhausted by then in the crowd that it just didn't get
Yeah.
the pop that it should have.
That's right. Oh my
But
god.
I'm
look
so
at this
glad.
list here.
I'm so glad that Kofi match was in the middle, because when he put his shoulders to the mat and pinned Daniel Bryan, and then New Day got to reveal the new title that they had over on the side just for Kofi, and these three grown men are crying in the middle of this ring, weeping. The crowd is going bananas. Whew. That was
I was there.
special, man. That was
Me too.
that
I
was
was there.
special.
I was-
That was
So,
that was
funny thing-
see, that was appointment viewing when that storyline was going on. It was
Yeah, I remember being next to, so there were a couple guys who like grew up in a same neighborhood that I did. It was like three friends, and funny enough, there were all black guys. Love New Day. That was their favorite team because it was Kofi, and they were just like the whole time we're sitting next to each other. It was great too. It was just like it was just a couple kids from the hood all just like talking about wrestling. And then one guy was like, "Yo, man, do you think they're going to put the belt on Kofi? There's just no way they're going to put the belt on Kofi, man. They don't.
I know.
They don't believe in Kofi, man. They ain't never going to do that." And I was like, "Brother, we're going to be crying at the end of this
Yeah.
night. Kofi's winning the championship. I guarantee it." It's like I would burn this place down if Kofi doesn't fucking win this championship.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that. The Jets and the Giants don't need to play in this freaking place anymore.
Yeah.
And then they went and did it, and it was like it's silly, right? Because it's grown men in spandex, wrestling, but in the context of and it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people maybe, but in the context of like seeing, like a guy like Kofi, a dude who was a tag team like specialist, just kind of regulated, never really given those opportunities, always knew that he was capable of doing it given how good he was in the ring.
Yeah.
But it was always just like whatever factors, whatever star was popping off or whatever, situation came about. So to just see someone, a veteran like Kofi Kingston, just get that opportunity to hold that belt over his head was such a powerful moment for so many of us. Yeah, till this day. And another fun thing about that, 2 days later, I was filming with IGN, a WWE IGN like thing, and it just so happened that Kofi was participating in it because Woods was like the one primarily working on it. So I got to hold the brand new WWE Championship the second day he was holding. He brought it to the thing, and then Woods is like, "Oh, you want to hold the belt? You want to hold the belt? Come!" And he just grabs me. He's like, "Kofi, Alex wants to hold the belt." He just gives me the belt, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is it!" It was like the coolest moment.
Oh my god!
Yeah. That was, and it was a great show. You should check it out. It was WWE IGN Wrestle. Yeah, we had a real good time with that one. But also just, Mania that year was incredible. Good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
That is a very, dude, the underdog shit works. It will, if you play it right, it will always work.
Yeah.
Bryan, Kofi, Cody is
You think Cody's underdog right now? I don't think Cody's underdog.
1000%.
Really? I think last year he was more underdog than this year.
No, think about it. He's got to deal with The Rock now. He's got to deal with the entirety of the bloodline. Everyone's talking about he can't trust Seth. Like they're talking about, we need more people. They've set up this whole tag match as a means to keep him as an underdog.
I have it in my head that he's winning.
Obstacles in his way.
I've had it in my head that he's winning, guys. I can't have this happen again because I was in SoFi and I was there with my buddy Gaskin and we were so excited to watch Cody win this freaking belt. I did the same thing. I looked at my friend. I was like, at the end of this night, me and you are going to be crying because AEW's Cody Rhodes is going to be a freaking world champion. And then we got a year of Roman, which I'm not mad about. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got two good ones, both connected to Daniel Bryan.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Is the third one connected to Daniel Bryan?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But now I feel bad because you guys got me all like goosebumpy and remembering those moments because again, those were ones I was also there for as well, and so like,
are you going to say when Sheamus knocked Daniel Bryan out in like 6 seconds to win the
greatest rivalry in the history? Yeah, underrated
I'll never forget that Rumble,
that for our show.
That Royal Rumble when Sheamus won, I felt so bad because I was so hype. I really liked Sheamus, but the crowd was just not into it. I do remember that. They were not into it, but
very much.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's funny because I was like, well, I'm an old head. I'll take it back. It's only a couple of years back. Like, we're gonna get a bunch of. He can be like, what do you mean? Like 1988 WrestleMania, you guys didn't love it? I don't know because, honest to goodness, though, there are so many classic like matches and stories. But I think in the modern era of WWE, they've gotten much better at the emotional. They're telling those kind of real life stories. So I think they kind of resonate with a lot of people of our generation. So while there are classics, of course, I'm going to take us back a couple of years prior to that. I mentioned this on our main podcast a little bit as when we were talking about predictability, but Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, round 2.
I had a feeling. I don't know why I had a feeling you were going to do that.
Yeah. It's so one of the big things is like a good rivalry to me, and there's a lot of factors, but a good rival to me makes a good video package. And the Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania 26 video package, in my opinion, is the best one ever made in the history of WWE.
Better than My Way.
10 times better than My Way. Sucks. Caveat. Okay. Look back at it. Here's why though. It is a classic. I bop out to it. It hits. It goes hard.
Okay.
But from a story, like, dude, all it is a banger of a song at the time. A banger of a song to Stunner, Rock Bottom, and Stunner, Rock Bottom. I gotta beat you, Rock. Stunner, Rock Bottom. I'm gonna stand here like this. I'm gonna stand here like this. Stunner, Rock Bottom. Like, the story was just that I won the Rumble and I'm gonna beat you, Rock.
The story was that he needed to be better than him. That was just a story, right?
It wasn't the promos weren't crazy back and forth. It wasn't so deeply emotional. It goes hard, but like as far as like weaving a story in a tapestry, it's kind of mid.
Yeah, I just say as a video package, that was
sure,
base.
right.
But
like
I get what you're saying.
It was the Schwarzenegger movie of highlight packages.
And to be fair, it was kind of like it was the one that really got them going. on like using popular music to really tell. Because before that, they were just kind of like dun 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 dun, dun like generic like orchestra music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like that was then like they really started using more like pop culture and stuff like that. So anyway, what I loved about Michaels Undertaker 2 is that it took a story that we 100% knew the outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it brought us, number one, it told us a awesome story along the way. And at least for me, as naive as it might have been, got me to the point where I thought, maybe he'll do it. Yeah. Shawn, I'm like, because at that point, I wasn't convinced yet that like, and we ultimately were kind of right, but like, everyone had been saying if anybody beats Taker, it's going to be whoever the next hot rising star is, right? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe not. Like, and especially knowing little things about Vince, like he likes his guys. Maybe Shawn's a legend and everything like that. I know Shawn's older and everything, but maybe like, man, they've just had such a rivalry. Maybe he'll do it. But so many things happened along that way. It started it started back in December. So it's not like something that happened shotgun in a month. He at the Slammies declares he wants another shot. I can freaking beat you. He goes into the Rumble. I still get more goosebumps. Right. I don't know if it was intended, but then he gets put to the apron. Batista hits him, and Shawn is he's grabbing at the rope, and Batista's literally slapping his hands away so he can't hold on and falls down. It's not some big bump. It's not a clothesline over. It's not that he's literally desperately clinging to the rope and just gets smacked away. And so, and I love that. And that the heartbreak, he played it up so well. I also believe this, correct me if I'm wrong, I may have the wrong year, but interim in between like Rumble and it was like No Way Out, whatever the February one was. Was that the same year of the JBL? Like, wasn't it where like Shawn lost all his money and so he had to be like JBL's manservant kind of thing?
Was that? I'm looking it up. Oh, dude, I do not remember this.
No, so if I had, it was the dumbest storyline.
Okay, so I just found an article. By the way. The title said, I'm gonna pull it up. I think that just serves so much better visually. So let's see if it's popping up.
Apologies to the listeners.
Yeah.
To the listeners, do you see it now?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Which it was
Shawn
the weirdest
Michaels
of his
WWE was the weirdest of his career. Oh man,
100% was.
That's so bizarre. So it was December 2008. So
wow.
When was said JBL contract to keep his family afloat. Michael said he didn't like JBL, but this is what he needed to do. The storyline made no sense. The strange storyline was supposed to play on the real life emotions of the many people who genuinely did lose everything.
I knew, damn it.
The
Okay,
2008 financial crisis.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm wrong. I'm off by a year. Because Mania 26. Yeah, never mind. No, because I'm getting confused because I'm like, he beat JBL to face Taker, but that was the first one.
Yeah.
All right. So forgive me.
Wait a minute. In hindsight, you did an angle off of the 2008 financial crisis.
Of course,
one of the worst situations in U.S. history. Oh my God,
that surprises you.
So I didn't intend to talk about this rivalry, but maybe this is my favorite WrestleMania rivalry.
JBL,
even though it ended before WrestleMania. No, so my point I was going to try to make was that like I thought that was the same year. It's not, so I'm wrong. But my point was going to be like, despite that little like sidestep, it still ended up being a good story. But no, it absolutely was not. It was the wrong year. So losing the Rumble, like Triple H trying to talk him down, like, and Michaels did such a good job of playing desperation and heartbreak and sadness every step of the way. Like to the point where like. Then he's got to go in to the Undertaker keeps telling him, no, I beat you. We're done. Move on. And Shawn's, I can't fucking take it. I can't. Yeah. And I love seeing guys like that who were. He got really in touch with his like emotional side and everything in that latter half of his career. He did some of his best, just like character work, promo work, and everything in that latter half of his career. And so then into Chamber, and he's like, I gotta screw the Undertaker is how it's got to be. And Taker was the champion, so he's like,
World
I want to
heavyweight,
face
right?
you. I'll
He was
face,
world heavyweight?
Yeah.
I think I'm
I'll face you for the title. That's what he's like. I can beat him and take the title off him. That's how it started. And then he's like, fuck, I'm just gonna fuck him out of the title. And like Shawn's the ultimate good guy at this time. And he goes to fuck another good guy out of the title. And still is a babyface, though. People are still like, yes, we want you to face Undertaker. Till he finally says yes. And, they have another banger of a match. And he retires. But it was such Michaels playing that heartbreak, that sadness, that desperation.
The obsession. The absolute
the obsession.
I mean, it was watching Moby Dick in a wrestling ring. I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
That's his white whale.
That was his white whale. He wanted that so bad and would go to any lengths and any extreme that he could to get it to his own detriment. Yeah.
Makes you wonder why they didn't pull the trigger. Like I felt like they had something there. Like, would anyone have been mad if Shawn Michaels beat Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Well,
I do think the hardcore, the people who are like this, whoever ends this streak has got to be like a John Cena, a Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, because they were like really big into that shit at the time. And to your point, you're right. But I can't help but feel like that was just. I mean, because they ended up giving the win to the young, hot upstart Brock Lesnar. So
I know. A couple of years
actually,
later.
Quick question though on that one: did anyone feel like Brock was going to win that match?
Nope.
Or you convinced
not at the
Undertaker was
time.
going to win?
I didn't even see the pin happen live. Because when he pinned Taker, when he on that last F5, I looked away. I was like, I need some more chips and dip or some shit. And then I heard the bell ring, and I was like, wait, what happened? Because I didn't think it was going to happen either.
That whole I was there. That was Taker was fucked up.
Yeah.
In the last like 6 minutes of that match or whatever. It was such an unfortunate kind of situation, but it was already booked and kind of stuff like that. But dude, I was in the Superdome watching from like a VOM. Me and Sami Zayn, a couple of the other NXT kids were out on the floor. Dude, 60,000 people, air sucked out of them. Like it was such an eerie feeling. Like it's the first time I've ever heard a bell ring with that many people in a building. And like they did, people. It wasn't a pop.
And the bell
It wasn't a pop. It was. It was.
Damn, I gotta go back and watch that
sure?
now. That that was so good.
Random transition, but
No, it is. But I mean, to the point, regarding Undertaker, I think that his I struggled with the matches between the Shawn Michaels match and the Brock Lesnar match, honestly, because. I don't know. I just felt like they had so many opportunities to just call it. Like, you know what would have been a great opportunity? If Bray would have beat him. That would have been a really good opportunity for Bray.
A lot of people felt like that, yeah.
I was convinced Bray was going to beat him because Bray was the next iteration of this character in a modern era, Like, it was really cool. And then they didn't do it. So I agree with you. That match, everything was set up so freaking well. But did Shawn Michaels say he was retiring after that match, or did he? That was like a stipulation.
That was the stipulation.
Taker put that on. He goes, "If you don't beat me, your career is over."
Okay, yeah, and we all know they love that shit. So I guess that makes a lot of sense. Damn, dude, wow, good memories, man.
Yeah,
there've been some.
But go watch that video package back. Running Up That Hill. It was the somebody's cover of Running Up That Hill.
Oh,
and it was awesome. It gives me chills. It's my favorite video package of all time.
Now you're making me want to go back and watch that feud. I really hope that WWE one day, I don't know if they do this already, but they really got to take some of these stories. And Disney Plus does this really cool thing, especially as it leads up to big shows that they have, when they did Ahsoka. They had a get to know Ahsoka series, and it was the most valuable episodes of like Ahsoka's character development that you would see
So-
in the show, kind of, sort of, right? I would really like for WWE to do more of that. I know they have their series like Rivals and stuff, but I don't know. I just want to watch matches and segments. you
Okay,
know?
there is a guy on YouTube that I follow. It's let me look at it real quick.
I think I know
His
who you're
username is
talking
just
about.
TH14, and
Yep,
he
I
does
know who
he
you're
does
talking
the
about.
story of blank, and it's all of that. It's like literally just
shit.
segment match, whatever of this one storyline, and he's been doing them for years. And they're like an
Well,
hour or
yeah,
hour and something
Yeah.
long, and yeah,
Depending on how long the rivalry is.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
TH14.
is crazy. I had no idea. TH14. I found him.
I was,
Oh,
I
snap.
was looking at that today. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
story
just
of
wanna
Stone
cut out the
Cold
fat-
versus the Kane versus the Undertaker breakdown, 1998. Oh,
Yep.
dude, he even does AEW on here as well.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does,
that's
yeah.
super
Story
sick.
of John
There's a lot of
Moxley
it.
versus MJF, Full Gear 2022.
Yeah.
Shawn
bit
Michaels,
of an
Chris
underrated
Jericho,
one, though.
WrestleMania 19. That was another good one.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good one.
Hell
That was
yeah.
actually a very good one. I
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
one quite well. Yeah, damn, man. There have been some really good WrestleManias for sure. I'm curious
Oh my God, yeah.
what WrestleMania
Yes.
matches rather, like so many to choose from.
Tell
and
us.
What's funny is we all
Tell us
chose
down there.
title matches, right?
Yeah.
Did we all choose title matches? No, you didn't.
Mine was on
No,
his
yours
Yours wasn't
not
because
a
he
title,
lost
yeah.
the belt beforehand. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh my goodness gracious, there's some good ones.
But
There's
yeah.
some good ones. Yeah.
There's
I
some
guess
good
let us
ones.
know in
There's
the
a
comments
lot of
which
good
one.
ones, man. That's
Yeah,
what I
right.
was just going to say. I was just going to say, folks, we've shared ours. You please share yours. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment down below as well as hit like, hit subscribe. If you're on listening to this, Spotify, Apple, you can leave us a review. Let us know what you think of this. What do you think of the show overall? And also, generous 5 stars if you got the time. Or in the best place, the most immersive place, join that Discord link, which is all linked in our different social media platforms. Look up Rebooked Pod and discuss with us, because that's what this is all about. We're all discussing with each other. We want to discuss it with you as well. So, Ben, leave comments of your favorite rivalries, your favorite stories, matches throughout all of
Oh, and one more
wrestling
thing.
and WrestleMania. Please.
Feedback for the double
Also
episodes
good.
this week.
Yeah.
Do you like
we
this?
Really, yeah. Do you like
Yeah.
this? Do you like the double episode format? Well, the mentality behind it was, talked to a few of my buddies who do like the podcast Plat Chat. It's a very popular Valorant podcast. And I was like, hey, you have this new wrestling podcast. It's really good. And they were like, great. How long's your episodes? And I was like, it's about like an hour, 45 minutes. And he was like, you might want to bring that down. So we wanted to try it out. We just wanted to see like if we could split things up. And also too, like I love doing funny things, and I want to try and do like I still have in my mind, we got to do the AEW title tier list, or what is the most important belt in AEW, because they have 15, so we got to figure that one out. And then, I really want to see like also, feuds, best feuds, or we could go through, top 5 title reigns for X person, or, there's a variety of different directions we can go. So if you guys have any ideas, leave them in the comments, and of course, leave them in Discord, because we want to hear from you. So
Absolutely. You're the man. It's that simple. Talk with us. We want to talk with you. But until next time, folks, hit all those links, watch more wrestling, enjoy it, and we will see you on the very next episode of Rebooked. Thank you much. Until then, see ya.